Okay, so, ¿cómo estás? Bien, good job. Good job. Good. Okay, now, again for the assignments, so we're gonna change the time. So your assignment 2 should be start from tomorrow or today. What is assignment 2 about?
Listing the birds.
Birds. Okay, I mentioned if you can have more than 10, it's good. Okay, if not, whatever you have. Okay, but mostly in the final exams, it will be around that number. Okay, so around that number to explain how they actually present and how they adapt to their environments, their behavior, and etc. So if you're able to observe 10 of them, it's going to be good number. And again, it's not that easy, maybe like a plan. So whatever you got, I will give you the grade. Okay, but if you have 10, it will help you with the final exam also. This is just a kind of information. Okay. And I think I owe you 15 minutes, right? You're right. So we're gonna only have 30 minutes today because last time we passed 15. Good. Then you don't remember that I owe you 15 minutes.
It should be 20. You left us to go walk.
You made us vlog.
Oh, 20 minutes. So, okay, 25 minutes. It's only 20 minutes lecture time then today. Okay. So, we just, all of us, right, visit the butterfly garden or farm. What do you see over there? What kind of adaptation or condition that you kind of, what you think about that process, about that program, or about how Rosie, perform that activities? We can start with Elmer. What do you think? What do you see? You can make a relationship with the evolution also, but if you just have opinion or things that you like.
I saw one thing I like. It might be insignificant, like the proboscis. Like the
proboscis. Okay.
Yeah, like some of them were like grayish or brownish in color, but the others were like purplish.
Okay. I didn't really observe that one. So what do you think of that? What is the difference then?
I think the difference maybe the flowers that's in their diet, maybe the one with higher colors, targets other flowers type of color.
That could be, yeah. So the shape, the longest or the length, the thickness of that proboscis is actually telling us, how far they can actually go to the flower part to get the nectar. So that's a good observation. How about you, Hania?
I was thinking about a lot of different things. So, for example, like as a farm or as a garden, I don't know. It seems to be like a really ethical process. And I think that's really important to me when I think about science-related topics, especially here where you are conserving these species, but you're also like shipping them to like different countries. The reasons were not stated, but I mean, it at least for the conservation part, it seems like an ethical space where there's a lot of space. Butterflies that are separated by like greenhouses. We didn't ask the reasons why, but I would like to assume that they're separated for those ethical purposes. So that was something that I was thinking about. Another thing that I was thinking about was, for example, how the butterflies were laying their eggs on the leaves. There were some butterflies that were laying across the front of the leaves, and others that were laying across the back. And I thought that was an interesting thing to look at. And there also seemed to be like, maybe it was just coincidence, but like in some of these plants where the eggs were being laid, some leaves were more full than other leaves, and so it made me think like maybe there's a preference for leaf size or width or space. I don't know. Maybe the lighting has something to do with that. And that's what I was thinking about. And the last thing I want to talk about was like how butterflies, a lot of the butterflies, they had a different belly side than back side. I don't know, like the part where like they extend their wings out, where most of them were really colorful. But where they extend their wings in, they were really plain brown color. So it alludes to something about maybe to help them survive.
Okay, adaptation. Okay.
I want to talk about the same adaptation with the belly side and the underside of the butterfly.
Okay.
We noticed that almost like the top part is more colorful. And the bottom is more darker. And I feel like this could be due to the adaptation to the
predators, yeah.
Like from the view from a bird,
from the top, and then from
the land-dwelling creatures, where it's mainly looking at the light, right, looking down at the green forest.
You're right. So you can also imagine that like a fish, fish, the belly is what happened with their belly, lighter or lighter, right? Because it's actually from the bottom, the predator from bottom cannot really see them because it's kind of reflected there. But from the top, they're darker. Now predator from the top can also kind of difficult to see them. That's a good observation over there. How about you?
I think my favorite thing that I could see that I had always heard about, but I had never seen, was we witnessed some of them come out of their sort of like chrysalis, and the way that their wings work is they have the scales and they are structures that help them fly, but as they freshly emerge, they can't use them yet.
That's right.
And like other bugs, they have to sort of dry them out and pump hemolymph into them to sort of extend them so that they can actually fly.
Yeah.
And the two morpho butterflies that we saw when we initially got there, they couldn't fly, so she put one of them on the tree, so it could undergo that process of like hardening and fixing the wings. I thought that was really cool.
That's really cool. That's a good observation also. When we talk about, for example, hens or chicken, when they lay the eggs, I want to ask you, do you think the egg is already a hard shell? Anybody have hens in their house before and then see how they actually lay the eggs? What happens when the egg is out from their, what do you call it? The cloaca. It's called the cloaca, but I don't know in English. Is it cloaca? Is it English?
Yeah, I think we say cloaca.
You can say cloaca. Okay, it's cloaca, which is just like an anus. Okay, but the egg is out from there. I used to have chicken also in the eggs, when you touch it the first time, do you think it's hard or soft?
It's a little doopy.
It's a little doopy, soft. Well, after several minutes in the air, it's become hard. That's the same thing also. If that's observation with the wing, it's not just like a hard, but it's really soft. Therefore, they cannot be used for flying yet until several minutes within the
I think another observation is mimicry.
Mimicry, okay.
Had like the wings, the eyes of a predator on its wings.
Yeah, look like a scary, scary animal, with a lot of eyes on it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this next time about co-evolution, mimicry. There are two types of mimicry. Okay, so we're gonna talk about and camouflage. What is the difference between camouflage and mimicry? This is slightly different over there. Therefore, we use different terminology for that. Camouflage, mimicry. We'll talk next time. Okay. Now, anybody have question about what you see today, and any other question for the class also? No, for the lecture. If not, we'll continue. It's not really continue. Actually, we're going back a little bit to this process over here, because I want you think about, what happened with the animals. The easy one to observe is animals in different continents. They are very similar, but at the same time, they are not the same species. And if you see closely, observe closely, they are not very the same. There are some differences within their colors, their motif, characters, and etc. Now, before we go that, we're gonna learn about this scientists, illustration about the split of the continent. It's called the continental drift or split. Okay, drift. Now, according to scientists, this is their illustration. Right? The land used to be one mass of land. It's called what? Pangaea. Okay. No, this land then, the earth is actually keep moving. Why we don't know? Why we don't feel it? Because we keep moving with it. Okay, so it's very slow movement. Okay, it's always move. The earth will not stay the same. It's move. Okay, therefore sometimes you have an earthquake, whatever is actually coming from that movement. Also sometimes crack within the plate. Especially in Indonesia, we have a lot of plates. Okay, we have a tectonic plates. Between island, they have plate. Okay, now this island, if you see which continent close to other continents, like Asia and Europe, they are very close, right? Therefore, it's called the Eurasia. Okay. And then, how about the North America and South America? Of course, yes. Now look at Africa and South America. They're actually very close, right? It's a mass land, but if it's very close, mean there may be several common ancestors that the same over there. And when it is split, it's creating very similar animal, but one is only found in Africa, for example, and the other one only found in the South America, for example. Right? But they are the same common ancestor. Australia is a weird one. This is the one that split gonna be kind of have a lot of weird animals over there. They are very different because it's very far away from, Asia, blah 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 blah. It's the farthest, okay? The farthest land in this how you said Pangaea, right? When they split, okay, so it's splitting like this, and then creating, the continent that we know right now. Okay? And this is the kind of the final, it's not really final split, but this is the one that we have right now. Okay? It has several continents with many islands on it. Now I want you, discuss about what animals, like for example, called panther. Anybody know what is panther? Okay, panther. Where do you see panther in here in South America? Yep. Okay. Do you see panther in Africa? Yes. Okay. Panther usually a general name. Okay. It's panther. It is general name for a group of cat that have very similar characters. It's called panther. Okay. There are some of them that have black color. What do you call that? Black Panther. It is not a movie, right? Black Panther. And there are some that have like a dot. What do you call that? In Africa, it's called, leopard, but in South America, it is called jaguar, right? Do they the same? Very closely similar, but if you see closely, their dot is actually not the same. But they are coming from the same common ancestor, which is that common ancestor used to live before that continental split. When it is split, then each of these species, this used to be one species with different diversity a little bit, right? Just like us. And then each of these is creating their own speciation. And finally, in South America, let's say it's become jaguar. In Africa, it's become the leopard. Okay? Which one is bigger? Anybody know what is bigger actually in general? No, jaguar is already bigger. Jaguar is bigger. Okay, jaguar bigger than the leopard. There is another one that's very small, but it's very fast in running. Cheetah. Okay. Almost similar with the dot also. Now, with this condition, with this different splitting, different environment, know what happened? They adapted to their own condition and then creating their own species. All right. Now, what do you call again that type of speciation after the geographical area splitting? Allopatric speciation. Allopatric speciation. And within this also there is a speciation that making some of them become jaguar, some of them become puma, what? And some of them become black panther. If you see closely black panther, you should look. If you see, it is not really black actually. It still have dot within the black. This is close relation with the panther itself. So I want to think about that. That's there is an adaptation, evolution of them, and it is due to what? Again, what is the machinery for evolution? Natural selection. Different natural habitat, then different natural selection is creating them. Another one. Okay, now if you see that Asia is close to the Asia over there, yeah, and then there is one bigger than panther, is in the cat family. What do you call them? Tiger. What? There are only 6 different species tiger now left, and all of them actually live in Asia. None in Africa, none in South America. Do you see any tiger in South America? No. It's all live in Asia. This is their kind of home range with this speciation. Now, what is the bigger tiger? The biggest one? The Siberian. And the biggest one is actually have the lighter color. It has lighter color compared to the other type of species. It's lighter. Why? Their habitat, they have less forests, they can open a little bit. So they have to be adapted to that condition, a little bit white, light color environment. The smallest one that's still alive is actually Sumatra tiger. And they are the darkest one. They are the darkest one, the smallest one, Sumatra tiger. It is now is in danger because not many of them, maybe only 200 species, not 200 species, I'm sorry, 200 individuals of this Sumatran tiger live. And many of them is not really in natural because it's going to be in the zoo. So the zoo is now become the breeding place for them. Okay, because they are most of the time unsuccessful breeding in their nature because a lot of habitat destructions happenings on the nature. That's the Sumatran tiger. The most abundant one that still have many members. Anybody know? That's Cincinnati. Bengals, Bengalian tigers. Because they spread from India, Pakistan, Bengal, some part of Myanmar. They still have. That's the most abundant. Even though it's not that many, they're still there. There's a Southeast Chinese tiger. This is also endangered. And the north part of the Chinese tiger. There's also a tiger over there. Indonesia, they used to be Java tiger. But I think since 1950, it's considered gone, extinct. Because Java is the most populated island in Indonesia. And then people just don't like tiger. They kill tiger when they see it because it's what happened with tiger. They actually eat their cattle, attack their cattle, attack human too. Another tiger that also gone in Indonesia is Bali tiger. It's also gone. It's extinct. So we don't have that good, conservation kind of thing, especially in people over there. They just, not really care about animals. That's the reason why I'm asking people here. We see a lot of bird over here, right? Indonesia, especially in close to the, many population area, you will not find a lot of bird. Especially kid. What happened to the kid? They carry this one. What is that? Slingshot. Slingshot. I used to. I'm sorry. Yeah. Squirrel. We don't have almost no squirrel, especially in the populated area. They do the same. I don't know. People just like the kid, not people, but kid. They just like to play with their slingshot. I will not. I did. Right? This is my I did because that's the what you call it, the culture, the kind of things that you when you kid you do like that. Okay, so you slingshot many birds just for fun most of the time. Not really, sometimes you eat it also. You take it, you burn it, you barbecue it. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, that's what happened. So our conservation is not as good as this one. Therefore, there's a lot of. I asked Karina, Melanie, do they do? I think we talk about that, right? When we walk, they say no, it is illegal. Yeah, if you do that. Yeah, slingshotting the animal. So that's some of animals gone. Another thing is elephant. You see elephant, where now elephants is present. There are only 3 elephant species actually left in this world.
There are African and Asian.
African and Asian. African, actually there are 2 species live. The biggest one is in the savannah. That's the biggest elephant. And the one is in the forest, Loxodonta africana. Yeah, bush elephant is the savanna elephant. This is the biggest one. And the forest elephant, smaller. It's actually the smallest of these 3 elephants. And then Asian elephant, mostly in India, Thailand, and Indonesia. Again, I used to, ride one of them in Lampung. I live in the area I call Lampung, where we have actually breeding place for this elephant. And that's the way they kind of deal with the elephant. So in order elephant follow you, you have to use that very sharp thing on their head, so they will follow you. Just like in horse, what they do, they put it, in the nose. The same thing with the cow, they will follow you. But elephant using this kind of hook structure. So this is what happened with this Pangea, and then the split, and then you see the remnant of species that's separating from different continent to other continent, but they actually look the same. Because what? Because they are coming from the same common ancestor before that splitting of the animals. Monkey, for example. Monkey in Africa and here, they are also different. Right. So, do we have chimpanzee over here? Do we have gorilla over here? No, but you find it in Africa. And there is one monkey that only lives in Indonesia, in Borneo. It's called orang utan. Have you ever heard that? Orang utan is only in Borneo, in Indonesia. It's only very specific area in Kalimantan. And we have scientists, researchers from New Jersey that actually work with this orang utan. So she presented her job last time. We have a meeting with a conference, Indonesian conference, and she presented her work. And then it's funny because her work at that time is actually looking for the food for that animal. The way they're looking for the food is actually they have to trap the feces and also the urine, because they can actually get the idea, the nutrients that actually that animal eats. So every morning they actually have to kind of hide under the tree and then waiting the orangutan to pee, and they collect it with something under the tree and then bring it to the lab and then kind of analyze the nutrients on it. So if you are interested, I think you can become part of that group. Okay. So anybody have question for that? I think if you don't have questions, we're done. It's 30 minutes already. There's no class tomorrow because you will have lecture time during the visit to the clinic. Okay, so just take a note on that. We might be able to connect that with the evolution, or we're going to talk about the health kind of things, maybe related with the bacteria, pathogens, how they adapt, evolve, and etc. And there will be also no class in Wednesday because we're gonna use the whole day for hiking to the La Danta. Okay, we might have class on Thursday before we go to the Monteverde.
This Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So again, make sure start with your second week assignment, and then it will be due on Monday. Okay, Monday after Monteverde. Yeah, you can, Bert, if you really find it's not many over here, you can also, I think in the Monteverde you will find a lot. Okay, wonderful. I'll see you then tomorrow.
Yeah, hour and 15 minutes to finish the entire Spanish.